Welcome back to Trending Echo. You know, we love having you all here, and a special welcome to all our new viewers. We're thrilled you could join us. If you're loving this content, remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future deep dives. Now, today we're tackling a question that I find really fascinating. Where does inspiration really come from? You know, is it something we generate ourselves, or is there something more going on?
Right.
We're going to be exploring this question through the work and ideas of Nikola Tesla.
Oh, wow.
You know, a brilliant mind who revolutionized our understanding of electricity.
Absolutely. He was a visionary genius. And it's fascinating that you bring him up in this context because he actually claimed that the human brain's primary function is to control our physical bodies, not to be the source of truly original thought.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Right.
Especially coming from someone who gave us so many groundbreaking inventions. So that really makes you wonder, you know, if our brains aren't the source of creativity, then where do those aha moments come from?
Tesla believed that inspiration originates outside of ourselves, a concept he often explained using the analogy of a Wi-Fi network.
Okay, I like where this is going.
So picture this. He saw our brains as receivers.
Okay.
Like computers capable of tapping into a universal field of information.
So instead of our brains, you know, conjuring up these ideas out of thin air, they're more like antennas.
Exactly.
Tuning into this cosmic broadcast of creativity.
That's the idea. And this raises the question, what exactly is transmitting that signal?
Yeah.
You know, could there be a collective consciousness, a shared kind of reservoir of knowledge that we can all access?
Oh. The mind-bending concept. And it actually resonates with some things we see in nature, right? Think about flocks of birds.
Oh, yeah.
Or schools of fish moving in perfect synchronicity.
Right.
How do they coordinate so flawlessly?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's almost as if they're all connected to some kind of shared intelligence.
Precisely. Those examples suggest there might be more to communication and connection than we currently understand. Now, bringing this back to Tesla, he was deeply moved by music, and he believed that composers in particular, they experienced inspiration in a profound way, almost like they were channeling melodies and harmonies from a higher source.
So if we follow this line of thinking, then a composer isn't just creating music, you know, they're acting as a conduit for something bigger than themselves.
Yes, and this idea isn't limited to music either.
Yeah.
Think about the way a powerful speech can inspire a nation, or how a work of art can evoke profound emotions. It's like these creative expressions are tapping into a universal language.
Wow.
That transcends individual thought.
This is where it gets really intriguing.
Yeah.
Tesla actually shared a personal anecdote about finding detailed inventions written on his notepad each morning.
What?
As if someone had visited him in the night and left him these plans.
No way.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So could this be evidence of his external source of inspiration in action?
It's certainly a captivating story. While it could be a form of subconscious problem solving, you know, our dreams often work through challenges we face while awake. It also aligns with his belief in accessing knowledge beyond our conscious awareness.
Okay, so we've got this idea of a universal field of inspiration.
Right.
But Tesla also briefly touched on another intriguing concept, the influence of planets on our minds. Could he have been onto something there too?
It's interesting you mentioned that he suggested that celestial bodies could have a subtle but real influence on our personalities and tendencies.
Now, we don't want to get lost in the stars just yet, but this ties back to the Wi-Fi analogy, right? What if each planet emits unique frequencies that can affect us?
That's a fascinating way to look at it, and it aligns with some ancient wisdom traditions that explored the connection between the cosmos and human behavior.
This is all pretty mind-blowing. It's like Tesla is suggesting we need to rethink our entire understanding of where thoughts and creativity come from.
Yeah.
It's not just about neurons firing. It's about tapping into something much larger than ourselves.
Right. Exactly. And this raises a crucial question for all of us. If inspiration isn't solely generated within our individual minds, how can we become more receptive to these external influences? How can we tune our antennas to the cosmic frequency of creativity?
That's a great question to ponder.
Isn't it?
And we'll definitely dive deeper into that as we continue exploring Tesla's fascinating ideas.
Definitely.
But before we move on, I want to remind everyone to share this video with your friends and family.
Yes. Spread the word.
We're incredibly grateful for your support in helping us spread these thought-provoking ideas.
Absolutely. The more minds we can engage in this conversation, the richer our understanding becomes.
Now, getting back to Tesla's thoughts on the brain's primary function.
Okay.
If it's not about generating original thoughts, does that mean our brains are just sophisticated control panels for our bodies?
That's a great way to put it. Think about the complex processes our brains manage constantly, breathing, heartbeat, digestion, movement,
Right.
all without our conscious input.
It's true.
It's like an intricate autopilot system keeping everything running smoothly in the background.
So if our brains are so busy with these essential tasks,
Yeah.
does that limit our capacity for creativity?
Tesla seemed to think so. So he argued that if our brains are primarily occupied with managing our physical bodies, then true inspiration must come from a source beyond our individual minds.
It's like our brains are already working at full capacity, just keeping us alive and functioning,
Right.
leaving little room for generating those truly groundbreaking ideas on their own.
Exactly. And this is where his Wi-Fi analogy comes in again. Perhaps our brains, freed from the burden of constant biological management, can become more receptive to external sources of inspiration.
This makes me think about those times when I've felt stuck creatively.
Yeah.
If Tesla is right, maybe it's not about forcing an idea,
Right.
but about becoming more receptive, more like an antenna seeking a signal.
I love that.
Have you ever experienced that?
Absolutely. I think many creative individuals have experienced moments when an idea seems to appear out of thin air, almost as if it was downloaded into their consciousness.
That's a perfect segue to Tesla's story about finding inventions on his notepad.
Yeah.
He claimed that every night before sleep, he would place a notepad and pencil beside his bed, and consistently he would wake up to find detailed plans and diagrams for new inventions,
Interesting.
seemingly written by an unknown hand.
It's an intriguing story that speaks to the power of the subconscious mind.
Right.
Our dreams often process information and solve problems in ways our waking minds can't.
But could there be more to it than just subconscious problem solving? Could he have been intentionally opening himself up to this external source of inspiration?
That's a fascinating question. What if, by setting the intention before sleep, Tesla was priming his mind to receive insights from beyond his conscious awareness?
It's like he was setting up the receiver and getting ready for a creative download.
Right.
This suggests that maybe we can actively cultivate our receptivity to inspiration.
Precisely. Perhaps practices like meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in activities that quiet the mind, can help us tune into that universal frequency Tesla spoke of.
So it's not just about waiting for inspiration to strike. It's about creating the conditions for it to flourish.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears a bit, Tesla was also fascinated by the power of music. He believed that composers experienced inspiration in a particularly profound way, almost as if they were channeling melodies and harmonies from a higher source.
This makes me think about how music can have such a powerful effect on us emotionally.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A single song can evoke joy, sadness, nostalgia, and even inspire social change.
Absolutely.
Could this be evidence of music tapping into that universal field of inspiration?
It's certainly possible. Think about the way a particular song can become an anthem for an entire generation, capturing the zeitgeist and uniting people.
It's like music is a language that speaks directly to our souls,
Right.
bypassing the limitations of words and logic.
Precisely. And Tesla believed that the most profound musical expressions were those that seemed to come from a source beyond the composer's conscious mind.
So a composer at their best is acting as a conduit,
Yes.
translating the music of the universe into something we can experience.
That's a beautiful way to put it, and it suggests that perhaps we can all access this universal creativity,
Yeah.
whether we express it through music, art writing, or any other form.
This is all incredibly thought-provoking. It seems like Tesla is challenging us to look beyond the individual mind as the sole source of creativity and to consider the possibility of a collective consciousness,
Right.
a universal field of inspiration.
Absolutely. And this raises so many questions about the nature of consciousness itself,
Right.
Where do our thoughts come from? Are we truly separate individuals, or are we all interconnected in ways we don't fully comprehend?
Those are some big questions.
Right.
And while we may not have all the answers yet, I think exploring Tesla's ideas offers a fascinating perspective on the mysteries of the human mind
Definitely.
and the potential for unlocking our creative potential.
I completely agree. And it invites us to pay attention to our own experiences with inspiration,
Yeah.
Where do those aha moments come from? What conditions seem to foster our creativity?
That's a great point. Maybe by paying closer attention to our own creative process,
Yeah.
we can gain a deeper understanding of these external influences Tesla spoke about.
And perhaps by opening ourselves up to the possibility of a universal field of inspiration,
Right.
we can tap into a wellspring of creativity we never knew existed.
Before we delve further into those possibilities, I want to remind everyone to share this video and help us spread these fascinating ideas. We're so grateful for your support in making these conversations possible.
Absolutely. The more minds we can engage in this exploration, the richer our collective understanding becomes. Now, let's circle back to Tesla's intriguing idea about planetary influences. He suggested that celestial bodies could have a subtle but real impact on our personalities and tendencies.
I know this might sound a little out there to some people,
Yeah.
but if we entertain this idea, how might those planetary influences work? Are we talking about something mystical, or could there be a more scientific explanation?
It's a question that has fascinated people for centuries. While we don't want to get too deep into astrology, it's worth considering that if the moon can affect the tides, perhaps other celestial bodies can exert subtle influences on us as well.
So it's not necessarily about believing in horoscopes,
Right.
but about acknowledging that we're part of a larger cosmic system.
Exactly. And Tesla, with his understanding of energy and vibration, might have intuited a connection between the frequencies emitted by planets and our own energy fields.
This ties back to his Wi-Fi analogy, doesn't it?
It does.
What if each planet is like a different transmitter, emitting unique frequencies that can affect our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors?
It's a fascinating concept. And it challenges us to consider the possibility that we are connected to the cosmos in ways we are only beginning to understand.
This opens up a whole new perspective on our place in the universe.
Right.
It's not just about what's happening on Earth. It's about acknowledging the influence of forces much larger than ourselves.
Exactly. And it circles back to Tesla's central point that there's more to inspiration than just our own isolated thoughts. We are part of a vast interconnected web, and perhaps by tuning into those connections, we can unlock even greater creative potential.
It's a humbling and inspiring thought. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this? Do you believe that planets can influence our minds? Have you ever noticed any correlation between celestial events and shifts in your own mood or creativity?
We'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Share your experiences and perspectives.
Yeah, let's keep this conversation going.
This is something that has intrigued humanity for centuries.
That's true.
And we're all on this journey of discovery together.
It's amazing to think about all the different ways people experience and interpret inspiration.
Right.
Maybe by sharing our stories and observations, we could start to piece together a more complete understanding of this mysterious force.
Exactly. And even if we never fully unravel the mystery,
Yeah.
the act of exploring these ideas can expand our awareness and open us up to new possibilities.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the brain as a receiver to the potential influence of planets, from music as a conduit to the power of the subconscious mind.
It's been a fascinating journey through Tesla's mind-blowing ideas about inspiration.
It really has.
And I think it's safe to say that he's challenged our conventional thinking about where creativity comes from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tesla's perspective invites us to question our assumptions about the limitations of the individual mind, and to consider the possibility that we are all connected to a much larger source of creativity.
It's both humbling and empowering.
Right.
Humbling because it reminds us that we are not the sole authors of our thoughts and ideas, and empowering because it suggests that we have access to a wellspring of creativity that extends far beyond our individual minds.
It's like realizing that we are all part of a vast, interconnected orchestra, each playing our unique part in the grand symphony of the universe.
That's a beautiful analogy, and it highlights the importance of both individual expression and collective harmony.
Before we wrap up, I want to encourage everyone watching to share this video with anyone who might be interested in exploring these ideas.
Yes, please do.
We're incredibly grateful for your support in helping us spread these thought-provoking conversations.
Absolutely. The more minds we can engage in this journey of discovery, the richer our collective understanding becomes.
And to all our amazing viewers, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Tesla's world.
It's been a pleasure.
If this conversation has sparked your curiosity, don't forget to subscribe to Trending Echo for more thought-provoking content.
Yes.
We're always exploring new ideas, and we love having you along for the ride.
We're also always on the lookout for new topics to dive into.
That's right.
So let us know in the comments what you'd like us to explore next. Your suggestions help shape the direction of our show.
Thank you again for being a part of the Trending Echo community. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those creative sparks flying.